Okay, yeah, great win. I mean, our team played a really complete game and made some improvements certainly from the last week. I appreciated that the team, we put a few things in front of them this week that we really felt like we needed to do to play well against Kansas State and take the steps, that we need to take as a team. And, special teams was a big emphasis. Some operation things as far as some of the small penalties that we had the week before was an emphasis, and in our physicality. And I think, we were a very physical team, for 4 quarters on all 3 sides of the ball. We played much better on special teams, held down their explosive return units, got a turnover, did some really nice things there. Had a few too many penalties. Most of them were the aggressive kind, which we know we got to do better, but we did much better with just some of the different sub packages on all 3 sides of the ball. Had very few miscommunications that way. So the team's listening. They're listening to what we're putting in front of them as a staff. They're responding, and it's fun when you get all 3 sides rolling like that. So great team win. We'll go from there.
Lincoln, you had so many big plays on offense. Can you talk about the big play striking ability of your offense, where you seem you can get a touchdown on every play?
Yeah, no, we did hit some big ones. Just had a few at the right time. Guys made some great plays. I think it started with our physicality, though, with us being able to run the ball. I thought our backs ran really hard. We played another very strong game up front. Once you can do that, then you put teams in tough positions. Whether they just gonna let you continue to just run the ball, they start taking chances, and when they do, we've got some guys on the edge that can make you pay. And so they played efficient, played well. Had a few broken plays that guys played pretty well on. So yeah, it was a good, pretty good performance.
Lincoln, can you talk about just setting the tone early defensively and what you were able to do in that first quarter?
Yeah, it was important. It was important. We talked about the physicality all week. We knew, the quality of offensive line that was coming in here. How good their back is. That was, our guys probably got sick of hearing that all week. But we took some more good steps there this week. Thought some of the things specifically defensively that we targeted that we needed to improve on from the TCU game, we did that. Guys are playing, confident with a lot of energy, a lot of excitement, tackling well, just doing a lot of good things right now.
Along those lines, do you, not that, outside noise ever motivates you guys, but that was one of the talking points outside probably your program all week, is that this is a physical team, Kansas State, and they're going to come in here and they're going to play big boy football. Did that motivate you guys at all?
Yeah, I don't know if it motivated us, but we knew it was key. That's our players did hear that all week, and we've prided ourselves on being the most physical team on the field every time we step on, and being the most physical team in this conference. And so every week's a challenge that way. Kansas State certainly is one. We've had a lot of epic battles with them over the years, and probably will continue to do so. So if you're going to beat them, you can't let them just beat you down like they do a lot of opponents, and our guys responded.
Lincoln, do you have an update on Buki?
Nothing specific. It looks promising, but we'll see how he does.
Lincoln, we can look at Kyler's numbers and be impressed by different things, but from your perspective, what have you been most impressed with as you've sort of watched him evolve?
And he's been pretty patient. He's been smart with the ball. He's done a great job with, and these are sometimes a little tough to simulate, other than games of broken plays. I mean, obviously his athleticism helps, but his poise on the broken plays, you've seen him throw a couple away, not trying to do too much, and those are ones that, unless you're playing live ball, you can't, you get in a scrimmage against your defense, a lot of those you'll blow a sack, or ball ends up on the ground, last thing you want is a quarterback reaching down, but in a game is a game, and he's handled kind of those off-schedule plays and off-script plays really, really well. He's understanding, he just got a good feel for what we're trying to do, understanding of how we're trying to attack people, their adjustments, so he's playing well.
Lincoln, how much better do you feel like your defense was today versus where y'all were, 3 weeks, a month ago?
Probably playing a little more consistent right now. I mean, that's probably the biggest thing. I think, getting some of these young guys back healthy has created competition. It's got more ability on the field. Some of those young guys are certainly playing better. and they've just got a good demeanor and mentality about them right now. So, you know, we're going to continue to get challenged in this league. You know, we know that. We're going to have a big challenge coming up here this week with the offense that we're getting ready to face. And so we just got to keep growing, you know, but we have taken, you know, in the last, I wouldn't compare it to any time before, but in the last, you know, from the bye week to TCU and from TCU to here, we have taken positive steps, so we got to keep doing that.
You mentioned those young guys. How do you feel like Jalen Redmond and Ronnie Perkins played today?
It looked pretty good. I got to see a little bit more of Jalen, just kind of ended up on our sideline a little bit more, but Jalen does some really impressive things physically, you know, and he played a couple snaps last week, but he got to play this week, and he did some really good things. So he'll learn from it. There'll be some mistakes, but you could tell this wasn't his first one today. He's starting to settle in, and he'll continue to get better and better. And Ronnie's playing a big role for us. You know, he looks like he did a pretty good job within their run game. That's a big challenge for a young end, is all the different ways they attack you in the run game, knowing how you want to fit, and also being physical enough at the point of attack. Looked like he did that and made some explosive plays like he always does, and he'll continue to do so.
Lincoln, the first time we talked to you after you made the changes, you said you felt like this team had a run in it. After these last two games, do you feel like that started to happen a little bit?
It's just, you know, it's week to week. You know, it's you can play, you know, like the best team in the world one week and not play your best if you lose your edge at all. And so, I mean, I think we've taken some positive steps. I think we all have a decent idea of what we're capable of, but we got so many challenges ahead. You know, there's, you know, we're going to play a lot of really good football teams here coming up, including the one this week. We're going to play in some tough venues. We're going to have adversity. We're going to have different challenges, and we're going to have to be ready to face it. So we just got to keep working and take it week to week.
Lincoln, you held Alex Barnes to 28 yards. He was the league's leading rusher coming in. Was that a focus coming into the game?
Sure, no doubt. I mean, he's been tremendous against everybody. So that's of all the stats in the game, that's one of the ones that I know I'm most proud of.
Brooks, Pledger, and Sermon all had more than 7 yards per carry. How much kind of is it what they're doing versus what the offensive line is creating for them up front?
It's always in sync. You know, it's you're never going to block everyone perfect, but we block a lot of them pretty good. And then I think you saw today a lot of really tough runs. I mean, they ran out of a lot of tackles. I thought the guys really ran with an edge. You know, that room is gaining confidence. You know, Marcellus too had some really good runs as well. So I mean, that room is really, they're all gaining confidence. They're competing with each other. They all want the carries, you know, like they should. We're able to, you know, keep them pretty fresh. I mean, we got a good thing going in there, and they're, like I've said in the last few weeks, they're continuing to get more in sync with their offensive line.
What do you chalk up their patience to? I mean, that's a fairly young group, and sometimes you don't see patience out of young running backs, but those guys will wait, let stuff develop. What do you chalk that up to?
I just trust in the front. You know, I think if you trust the schemes and trust the guys that are blocking for you that they're going to get it done, then you tend to hit things, you know, where they should be hit, and they're doing that. And so, you know, football is a game of trust, and they have a lot of trust in those big boys in front of them right now.
Does Kennedy Brooks have a sixth sense or something, because his sample size is not so small anymore? It's still over 10 yards per carry for the season. What does he have that others just maybe don't? Yeah,
no, he does have. There's some things, especially in space with him, that he does and understands and feels that you can't always teach guys that. You know, you never know exactly how things are going to happen, especially once you get past that first level. And our O-line's doing a good job of getting him some good clean runs, but then he understands how blocks are being leveraged, he understands space, and he's got the ability to make a guy miss in the open field. And so, you know, that's all the guy did for 3 or 4 years in high school, was run for about 250, 300 yards a game, and was well coached, did it in a great league. So, I mean, all those runs, all those carries, you could tell the guy's carried the ball a lot, and he's just got a great natural feel for it.
12 different receivers caught 19 passes today. Just your thoughts of spreading the ball around, and then CD's game overall.
12 cut 19. Wow. Yeah, they played well. They did. Moved it around. CD had, you know, 2 long ones, obviously. Yeah, it was that kind of game a little bit. You know, kind of like we've had a lot of explosive plays. You know, again, not a ton of plays. I saw the other day we were 128th out of 130 in plays per game offensively, which is hard to even fathom. So yeah, we're not getting a ton of snaps, but yeah, guys are making plays when they're called on. CD made 2 big ones. One of them was a little bit of a gimme. The second one though was a really competitive catch. You know, ball was out just a little bit late. You know, made a competitive play and came out of it. So we got elite guys on the edge. You know, we need them to make those big plays. They made them today.
You just chuckled at that number and said, "Wow." Do you have a number in mind, a target number for a number of guys you want to have touch the ball?
No. I mean, just never know how the game's going to go. But to only have 19 completions and 12 different guys catch them, I don't know if I've ever had that before. That's. I bet that hadn't happened a lot in college football history.
Lincoln, at the end of the first half, the camera caught you really frustrated that you didn't score
Yeah.
at the end of the first half.
Yeah.
Is that just the attitude of this offense?
Sure. Yeah. And I mean, I was just really mad because we had emphasized special teams so much this week and worked really hard on it. And man, we get that big turnover, and I mean, you want to go bury those guys right now. I mean, that is the perfect time to do it, and we didn't get it done. So yeah, no, I was of all the things offensively, we did a lot of good things, but was certainly disappointed because that was one of those chances. You don't get a ton of those, and so yeah, certainly disappointed. But it is our attitude. I mean, we expect to score a lot, and our guys feel that way. Our coaches feel that way.
You said you think your defense is playing more consistent. Is that derivative of a confidence that just when they take the field wasn't present prior? Or are they just stepping out there in a better place?
Y'all try to give me the place comparison game. It's hard to say that.
It's a hard question to ask.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. So I'm not going to give you a great answer. It's, our mentality's good. I mean, we're practicing really well. I think the coaches have done a great job, putting it together. We've made some changes. We're playing with some guys that we weren't playing with before, and they're playing well together as a group. So I think after the changes, and I've said it a bunch, but I mean, I really think this is where it lies. We all had to own it, and we have all owned it, and everybody has taken steps to get better, and that's why the product on the field's better. Now, if we don't continue to do that, we won't play the way we need to. If we continue to, then we got a chance.
Time for 2 more. It's always important, obviously, to play well defensively, but coming into the transition. And Ruffin talked a lot about the trust with the players to the coaches. And just 2 games where you were pretty dominant defensively, how important was that? It's always important. How important was it because of the transition to really come out and be dominant that way the players could obviously see, okay, these coaches are putting us in that position?
Sure, yeah, results matter. I mean, they do. And, for them to have some success, after some of the changes, after some of the things that they're doing differently themselves, being more invested, whatever it is, to have that success makes a difference, and it continues to breed confidence. And so the key is, as the success comes, the work ethic has got to continue to rise. And but Ruffin's done a great job. It's not an easy role to step into, and he's done a great job. He's tremendous with their mentality, with their psyche. I mean, he's always been great with that, and that's why we made the change that he was the guy for the job.
After your analogy this week, will you be disappointed if somebody doesn't come up with an animated GIF of dogs running next to Cindy Brooks and a touchdown?
I'm sure it's already out there. There's enough junk out there right now. So, all right, thanks.